BIRRARUNG Stories by Jim Poulter. Aboriginal concepts of spirit, flesh and skin. Probably the most misunderstood Aboriginal concept is that of skin. Many ordinary Australians, on first hearing that Aboriginal tribes are comprised of various skin groups, think that tribes are somehow divided up on the basis of skin colour. This is not so, and the Aboriginal concept of skin is part of a trilogy of concepts that lie at the heart of Aboriginal religion. And I say religion advisedly, because the Aboriginal belief system is in fact a fully fledged deist religion, which I call Wanjanism. It should not be dismissed as just a primitive animist system of spirit and ancestor worship. Deism is one of two types of religion that believe in a supreme being, but in deism, God is seen as non-interventionist. This is why Aboriginal drawings of Wandjina always show eyes but no mouth. God sees and hears everything but says nothing. Deism therefore contrasts with theism, which believes in an interventionist God. In other words, that God directs our daily lives with intricate plans. The concept of the dreaming simply and elegantly conveys that the world was imagined into place by God. Many Dreamtime creation stories start in a similar fashion, saying that once there was nothing but empty darkness, then in the mind of the Great Spirit, a dreaming began. Then, consistent with both the Bible and the idea of the Big Bang, the story tells that in the empty darkness, the first dreaming was of fire. This was then followed by a long dreaming of wind, rain, earth and sky, land and sea, and so on. Growing tired from the long dreaming, the Great Spirit wanted it to continue, so life was sent into the dream in the form of creator spirits, each with their own part of the dreaming plan. Then, as each creator spirit completed their work, they found rest and became the landmarks and animals we see today. Finally, only mankind was left with true consciousness and free will, and with responsibility for curatorship of the land and the dreaming. Once mankind recognised this responsibility to protect the land and the dreaming, the spirit of all life did two things. First, the spirit of every child that would ever be born was seeded into the dreaming, where they must wait until it is their turn to be born. Second, the Great Spirit seeded all knowledge and the answer to every question into the dreaming, so that every person would have access to all the knowledge that would ever be required, through their own personal dreaming. So this is where the concepts of spirit, flesh and skin come in. Before a child can be born, a father must find the spirit of the child in a dream, and then direct the spirit child to the body of their mother, who makes their flesh. Then when the child is born, their skin is the symbolic package that unites spirit and flesh in the real world, within the context of family and community. So we have three key relationships in traditional Aboriginal culture. First, spirit represents the father-child relationship, because it is he who finds your spirit. Second, flesh represents the mother-child relationship, because it is she who makes your flesh. Third, skin represents the husband-wife relationship, because it is they who give you family and community. These three concepts are embedded in all tribal Aboriginal social structure. Across Australia, all tribes were originally divided into two halves and four quarters, with the halves now being referred to as moieties and the four quarters being referred to as skin groups. The Kulin Nation has two moieties, Bunjil, wedge-tailed eagle, and Wa, crow. The Warrandyte were of the Wa moiety. Each of the skin groups has a paired relationship, and those pairs are governed respectively by the concepts of spirit, flesh and skin. What this means in practice is that you and all your siblings are in one skin group. Your father is in the second skin group, but in the same moiety as you, thus signifying your spirit class relationship. Your mother is in the third skin group, but in the opposite moiety, thus signifying your flesh class relationship. Your marital partner is in the fourth skin group and the opposite moiety, thus showing your skin class relationship. All this is very complicated for non-Aboriginal people, but it is a matrix that tribal Aboriginal people carry around in their heads and know exactly who is totemically related to whom. This is greatly assisted by the fact that when you have children, this third generation reverts back to the structure of your parents' generation. So in simple terms, each child belongs to the very same skin group as both their father's father and their mother's mother. Having already ventured a little into brain hemorrhage territory, I will restrict myself to explaining the wrong skin rule. As in all societies, forbidden love will sometimes happen, and couples from the wrong skin groups will fall in love and elope. In such cases, the answer is extremely simple. The spirit rule is ignored, and skin group that their children are born into is determined solely by the flesh rule. So regardless of who your father is, you will always be your mother's flesh. Jim Poulter is a local historian with an interest in Aboriginal history.